you've been in solar since the Sun Edison days. That's going back. Tell us how you got into the biz.
Yeah, so in 2004, because I'm old,
Woo!
I know, ancient, I started at a wind energy development company. So I did utility scale wind projects for that company and then for a couple other companies. Some of which have gone bankrupt, some of which got bought by large petrochemical companies.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I followed wind energy through that. And then in 2011, I had my first child and I wanted to move back to the East Coast. So I got recruited by a wind turbine manufacturer in Philly who was recruited by Ed Rendell, Gamesa.
Gamesa.
And so I worked with Gamesa for 2 years. And then in 2013, I started with Sun Edison. So that was really my first, 2013 was my first job in solar. And I ran the distributed energy East Coast development business. So until that time, Sun Edison had been doing rooftop projects. And then they switched to ground mount projects. But there's the whole bits that I'm really good at that they weren't doing. So they had people who were selling, getting power purchase contracts, doing all of that. And they had people who were constructing, but they didn't have any meat in their sandwich is what I would say, which was they had no one to get the permits to make sure the land was titled right.
I thought you were saying that they were all like vegans or something like that.
They were totally vegan. Yeah, Sun Edison, little known fact, was a vegan company. Macrobiotic and vegan. Yeah.
No, but you know what? I wanted to interrupt for a second because, us in the solar industry know a lot about Sun Edison, but I think a lot of our listeners don't. Maybe you could give the 30,000 foot elevator scoop on Sun Edison.
Yeah, I think Sun Edison is really an incredible company, and started off in the business really doing remarkable things around power purchase agreements and revolutionized kind of the financing and revenue contracting of solar, basically bringing projects from the roof and behind the meter into larger kind of, I'd say almost synthetic or virtual PPAs where they were able to figure out ways to get solar projects built.
Wait. Synthetic?
Or not,
PPAs?
but just meaning...
Explain those terms.
Okay, sorry. So the idea is like when I build a solar project on my roof, the person who is using the power and benefiting from the power is the person who owns the solar panels or who has them on their roof, and that's it. And so when we talk about behind the meter projects, we talk about projects that serve the load of the particular customer on whose property they're built. And then when we talk about virtual or PPAs in general, it's a power purchase contract. And that means that the power is generated in one place and the person who is buying the power may not be right there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's the way wind and utility scale solar have worked. And then Sun Edison did a lot of that work on the distributed scale, on distributed generation sized projects. And
so those are smaller projects.
Smaller. Yeah. Distribution level interconnection is the electric lines that you see around your neighborhood that you don't notice, or that you see along county roads and you don't notice. The big, huge honking power lines that you do notice are utility scale power lines.
Those are transmission lines.
Those are transmission lines. They're like, when you think about highways versus rural roads, like a transmission line does not have a lot of exits. You plug in at one spot and most of the power goes from a power plant to maybe a substation and then distributes it down the line, which involves losses, electrical losses as you distribute. And whereas distributed generation basically plugs in on like a little, not a county lane, or maybe like a county road, and it has more off ramps and it can serve more of the local load that's near it.